John MacArthur's Ethnic Israel, a genetic fantasy. Some ideas are so divorced from reality that they teeter on the edge of madness. Take, for example, John MacArthur's insistence that modern Jews are the literal, biologically preserved ethnic Israel of the Bible. According to him, God has a special plan for this population as a national ancestral entity, intact over millennia. Step back, and the claim is not merely wrong, it's absurd. 1. A genetic fantasy. Modern Jewish populations, particularly Ashkenazi Jews, are genetically nothing like the heterogeneous Israelites of the 1st century CE. 1st century Judeans were a mosaic of tribes, exilic populations, Hellenistic settlers, and Levantine neighbors. Ashkenazi Jews, by contrast, emerged in medieval Europe from a tiny founder population, with most maternal lines tracing to Europe and only faint Levantine ancestry. The notion that this population could somehow be equated with ethnic Israel is equivalent to claiming a few thousand medieval Europeans are biologically identical to a diverse ancient civilization. It's scientifically laughable. 2. History doesn't care about theology. Even without DNA, history tears this claim to shreds. Israelite identity was fluid and ethnically inclusive. Tribes intermarried, exiles returned, foreign settlers joined in. By the Roman period, the population of Judea was already a complicated ethnic tapestry. Modern Jewish communities emerged centuries later, scattered across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. To assert that these populations are a literal continuation of ethnic Israel is like claiming that medieval Londoners are identical to the people of ancient Babylon. Reality simply does not support it. 3. Theology becomes twisted. From a theological perspective, the claim is equally absurd. Scripture rarely defines Israel in purely ethnic terms. The New Testament, in particular, frames God's people as faithful in spirit, not in genome. Insisting that modern Jews are the literal ethnic Israel imposes a racial lens onto texts that emphasize covenant and faith. It turns theology into a genetic game of make-believe. 4. Ideology over reason. These claims are not rational. They are ideological fantasies. They conflate cultural and religious continuity with biological continuity, a category error that any rational observer can immediately spot. They ignore centuries of migration, admixture, and bottlenecks, yet claim divine preservation. It's the kind of argument that sounds impressive in a sermon, but crumbles the moment you ask for actual evidence. Conclusion. To put it bluntly, claiming that modern Jews are the literal, biologically preserved ethnic Israel is delusional. It defies genetics, history, and even a reasonable reading of Scripture. John MacArthur and others may believe it, and they may preach it with passion, but from a rational standpoint, these assertions are unhinged. They are theological fantasy masquerading as historical fact, a fantasy that collapses the moment reality intervenes.